So I'm about to do the setup right from the installation of the Dante interface itself, setting up the Dante controller, setting up the Dante VIA and the Dante sound card, virtual sound card that is. I will speak about those in a few, but at this moment let me just show you how the interface looks like, so that when you see it somewhere, you can simply identify it. This one is compatible with our D-Live mixer. Every mixer, every mixer has its own version that is compatible, because different manufacturers and different series of mixers are made slightly differently. So, for compatibility's sake, different interfaces come looking slightly differently. Like this is for our D-Live. That's the motherboard, the back side of the motherboard. That's the front side. You see it has a fan, a cooling system, and a few other components. That's the back side, where you put your cables, where you put your Cat5e or Cat6e, or your network cable, that is. This is the one that goes to the computer for your setup. This is the redundant cable. The redundant cable, usually when you run audio network systems, you run two cables, not one, for digital systems. One is the main, which is primary. The other one is the redundant. In case the primary cable fails, it automatically switches to the secondary cable seamlessly, without you even noticing that it has switched. Apart from that, yes, that's it. This one allows you to record up to 64 channels. It's written here 64 by 64 using Dante virtual sound card, which we will speak about in a bit. So what's Dante? As we had spoken earlier, Dante is simply an audio network system that enables you, allows you, in a layman's language, allows you to have more for less. For us to understand why Dante is important, we need to understand the difference between analog and digital systems. For analog systems, every time I want to connect something, every time I want to change something, I have to add a lot of hardware. That includes cables, that includes a lot of other hardware. For example, if I'm to add another mic or another amp or another processor, it means I have to run cables to connect those systems or those hardware to the mixer. But in digital systems, you realize that you don't necessarily have to run so many cables. You only have to run the Ethernet cable, the network cable that connects, will enable you to connect most of them, even in long distances. Okay? But you realize that even with the normal digital systems, where I connect my mixer to my mix rack, I'm a bit limited, because my mix rack can only accommodate so much. So that is where Dante comes in, because Dante creates a network that enables me to add more without necessarily spending too much or needing too much space or needing too much expertise to do the work. So what I need to do is simply connect my Dante to a network switch and connect all the other components to the network switch, and that makes it very, very easy for me to do the job. That gives me an advantage over the normal digital mixing system, that I can have as many devices added to the system as I desire. My limitation is my imagination, or my need is my limitation. Dante does not limit me. It does not have what we call an upper limit of devices that you can plug into the system, and it still functions efficiently. Okay? So what are the advantages of Dante over other systems? Because there are other systems that are similar to Dante. Some of you may know them. One of them, I think, is called Madi. Yeah, I think that's another example. So you can check out Madi